up my gadget here. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's always a pleasure to, have these conversations with us. I will not introduce myself so much. Anita Malinga is my name. I have the awesome privilege of leading the team at Shine Leadership International. And at Shine, what we do is we empower and equip young people with skills that make them thrive. And we focus on key areas. And I think we share a similar vision with our partners here, the Career Talks, Future Den. And so when we are dealing with the youth, we focus on the area of leadership, entrepreneurship, financial literacy, and career guidance. Those are our areas of focus for the young people. And so most of our programs at Shine rotate around that. One of the programs we have is the Money Bright Academy, where we empower and equip youth with financial literacy, in financial literacy. It's a 1 week program, and we have a cohort coming up soon. Feel free to join. It's called the Money Bright Academy. We are here to talk about money. Any other thing about me? I am a mother of 4, married 11 years and counting. I've run Shine since 2019. I currently work, my 8 to 5 is with Enterprise Uganda. For those who know Enterprise Uganda, I fellowship with Watoto, a committed member of Watoto Church. I was telling Stephen that now, when you invite me on Wednesdays and I'm supposed to be in cell, so it was a bit of a struggle, but I said, okay, I'll make it. So we are here to talk about money because it's not only a physical thing, it's also a spiritual thing. And so I approach it from many perspectives. As a mother or as a wife, I happen to be the financial manager here at home. But also, I manage finance. I oversee. Yes, there's someone who manages our finances in Shine, and I want to recognize the presence of the Shine team, some of the leaders who are on call. But also, I know that money is something that is close also to God's heart, and He addresses it many times in the Bible. And so, spiritually, we want to see how do we approach that. If we're going for us to be good stewards. And so it's an area I'm passionate about because you see, if you're not financially intelligent, you don't only misuse your money, but you also misuse other people's money. And many people are suffering from financially unintelligent people's, mistakes and financial decisions. So it's not okay for you to be in a circle and you're the only one financially intelligent, or you're few in your family. It's incumbent on you to educate those around you, because if they don't become financially intelligent or financially literate, then they're going to encroach on your resources. And we've talked about the issue of black tax, which I don't want to dwell on, but that is just money that, but now we've learned to budget for that money. I don't want to say it's money not budgeted for, but it's that money where, a friend falls sick, they call you, help me with some money, you send, it's not on your budget. A close relative is bedridden, they call you, girlfriend, boyfriend, here, there, give me transport, send me airtime, MBs. That money, which is not part of your budget, but when the request comes through, it's very hard to, not to respond. But when you're financially intelligent, you learn how to budget for those things. And so we are here to learn, yes, but we are also here to be reminded of the things we already know. I'm very sure even on call, we have financial literacy trainers. And we are not here because we don't know about money. We know about money. We've heard about it. We use it, but there are some things that we tend to ignore, and yet we know money has laws. And what happens when you break the laws? They come back biting. There are consequences. So if one of the laws of money says that you have to save, and then you don't save, what will happen? You will not be safe. So if you're not saving, you're not safe. Why? Because the future will come, and it will look at you, and you will look at it, and probably a hospital emergency will come, and it will need money. And so we need to plan. We need to plan, but we also need to increase our earning capacity, because you cannot budget or you cannot plan for money that you don't have. Okay. So we want to see in our effort of becoming financially literate, what are the things we need to know? What does it mean to be financially literate? We all know that we've been earning money as a child. Anybody here who didn't earn any money as a child? A baby, you know, when you're born, when we are born, people are excited, and so they come visit the parents, give you money. Okay, you may say the parents take it, but the whole point here is that you earned money for coming on earth. There is money that came, whether it went, but it was your value that brought that money, just that the receivers were different. And so if just your coming on earth attracted money, even when you didn't know, it is not possible that as you gain knowledge and understanding, that is when you start, what's the opposite of attracting? That is when now money starts leaving you. The more you know about it, the more it leaves you. Yet when you didn't know about it, when you are in school, you are earning, you are getting money, you are getting pocket money. You didn't know. But now that you know, now the money is running away. So there is a gap there that we need to deal with. So allow me share my presentation. Financial literacy is a very huge topic. Of our learning about financial intelligence is a very huge topic. And so the time we have here may not be enough. I will try my best to see to it that I'll just go around it over it so that we work within the time that has been scheduled. And so what I'm going to share, these will be principles of finances. A few weeks ago, I got my certification from the Bank of Uganda. I got my certification from the Bank of Uganda. So it was in 2024 when we underwent the financial literacy training by the Bank of Uganda. But when they give you that certificate, it's more like a certificate of attendance. So you have to put in some work as they monitor you for you to get that certification, to become a certified financial literacy trainer in this country. And so I was excited when it came through. Bank of Uganda sent me a message and thank you for the work well done. We see what you do, and so well done. And so we keep spreading the message because it's important. I've told you, if you don't put in effort to become financially intelligent, you're not only going to waste your money, but you're also going to waste other people's money. I know of misusing it. There's a relative who came to visit me and he was a bit hard up. I'm sorry to say, but he took a loan from one company to buy a phone on a loan from another company. I don't even know what kind of arrangement that is. Now, the loan he took from the other company to buy a phone on loan, because the money was not enough, but he had to deposit on the other company. Now, this one, they are demanding him, he's defaulting, but even the phone is also defaulting. So it says they are going to disconnect this one. I think when a certain time reaches, they disconnect the phone because you're supposed to pay on a certain date. So I asked him, so how much was the phone? I asked him, what's the name of the phone? I went on Google, I searched for the phone, I showed him the price. It was around 450,000. Then I told him, so how much did you get for the loan? Then he showed me the balance on the phone, because the balance or the phone loan shows when you pay some money, it deducts. So here they are demanding him 600,000 because fines accumulated. And then the other side where he took money from to, to get this phone, he's also defaulting. And so there he took, I think, 150, and now they are demanding him around 300,000. So 300, what they are demanding him, and 600 something is already 900. And he has already paid some money there where he got it from. And so we calculated, and I told him, right now, you're operating within 1.3 million. That phone is 450,000. I asked him, did you do any calculations before taking that loan? And then we went into a session of a bad loan and a good loan and all that. But anyway, I gave him my book since he was a young man. This is Money Bread. I don't know if it's clear here. Okay. The book may not be clear, but it's a book I've authored called Money Bread, and it's for young people to help them become financially literate. It's at 25,000 Ugandan shillings. Just shares the principles of what it means to be financially literate. Let's move on. I want us to make a list. I'm not going to tell you to make a list of 10 things. That may be long, but you make a list of at least 5 things you can do well. 5 things you can do well. Consider your knowledge, skills, experiences, and talents, whether it's something you're doing currently or not, but something. If you can cook well, if you can cook well, if you can sing well, if whatever it is you can do well, just give me 5 things. 5 things you can do well. 5 things you can do well. Faith, when you get 2 people who have listed the 5 things, we can continue. 5 things you can do well. 5, if you can talk well, if you can model, if you can, whatever it is, what can you do well?
We're still waiting for their responses, but I think I can encourage them by starting off. Someone says congratulations to your certificate.
Make the list. Ideally, they're supposed to be more than 7, but make 5. Make the list. Not your strength. Make the list of things you can do, either with your hands or a service you can provide, or whatever it is you can do. You can make bricks, you can fix furniture, you can, your talents, your gifts. What can you do? Please share the list with us here. Let's see. I'll tell you why we're making the list. Thank you, Precious. She says she can moderate sessions, she can sing. Okay. Crochet, voiceover. Okay, good. Winnie says sing well, dance well, act well, Asha, we love people. Okay, so the rest have nothing to write. This list is very important, and it's our foundation for financial literacy. Without this list, we are going to disturb other people when it comes to finances. Okay. Okay, so I'm assuming we've made the list. Keep the list coming in. Keep the list coming in. Okay, we will need that list, so please have it. Let's go to the second question. When money comes in, what do you usually do first? When money comes in, please make sure you write that list. When money comes in, what do you usually do first? Do you spend, do you save, do you avoid, do you risk? Okay, Precious says pays bills. Okay, please use the words that are there. Spend, save, avoid. What's the first thing you do when money comes in? Okay, it says tithe, pay my tithe. What do the rest do? Plan how to spend. Okay. And please, there is no wrong or right answer. Okay, they're just right answers. Okay, others are just getting their lists. Okay, we shall need those lists. Okay. Again, you will need this answer. So you have answers for number 1 and answers for number 2. I'll continue. Now all of us, I don't know, because of time, we may need, let's go through this quickly. I don't know if some people are able to write, but probably people are moving. Do we have some people who are able? I just need a few people to get their results and they share with us. I want us to do the financial health check because people told us they're financially illiterate 11 out of 10. So let's check. Apart from Mercy, who said she was 4 out of 10. Mercy, you'll be surprised. Okay, let's award ourselves. Each question here you answer is 1 mark. So please go through the questions. Question number 1, I have clear financial goals. If you have clear financial goals without overthinking it, you either have a goal or not. Give yourself 1 mark or 0. Number 2, I'm going to move fast. If you have clear financial goals, give yourself 1. If you, Number 2, I have a weekly or monthly budget. You either have a budget or you don't, and you don't make a budget when you earn. A budget is the one supposed to direct your money. When you start writing things to spend on, that's a spending plan. That's not a budget. So if for you draw your budget when money comes, you don't have a budget. The budget is there before, and then the money, the expenditure is guided by the budget. So you either have a budget or not. Number 2, I have a weekly, monthly budget. You give yourself a mark. When spending, I distinguish between needs and wants. Let's not assume, give yourself marks. Number 4, I have an emergency fund covering at least 6 months of my monthly expenses. Okay. I have an emergency fund covering at least 6 months of my monthly expenses. Number 5, I have multiple income streams beyond salary. Beyond salary, you have multiple income streams. And if there are 3, 4, okay, give yourself a mark. I have a retirement fund, and I know how much I need. I have a retirement. Okay, so the question here is, you know how much money you will need in retirement. You have your retirement fund figure at the, you've calculated it. If you don't, put 0. If you have an insurance policy, any kind, give yourself a mark. I manage my debt well. You're not overburdened and you pay on time. You're not defaulting, okay? And here, please answer well. If you took a debt for consumption, 0, okay? I manage my debt well, but this debt we are talking about is a good debt, because if you took out a debt for consumption, that's a bad debt. And so you give yourself a 0. I belong to a savings group, investment fund, give yourself a mark. I tithe or you give consistently, give yourself a mark. I regularly read or learn about money and financial growth. Your intention about learning about money, okay? Give yourself a mark. I know my money temperament. You know whether you're a spender, a saver, or you know, an investor, a risk taker. Give yourself, if you don't know your money temperament, give yourself 0. I know my financial position. You know your income, you know your expenses, you know your savings. You know that this is how much I earn every month, this is how much I spend. Number 14, I save and invest consistently every month. You have a saving and investment plan. I track and review my finances regularly. Give yourself a mark. Now, you need to give yourself out of 15. What scores do you have? Out of 15, what do you have? Out of 15, what do you have? What are your final results? Please look at the screen and see what you answer. Just pick out. So you have a figure out of 15. Dixon has 5 out of 15. Please keep your results. We are going to look at them. Faith has 11 out of 15. Agri has 12 out of 15. Okay, good. 2 out of 15. Moses. Okay. Jonathan has 8 out of 15. Okay. 5 out of 15. Okay, so if you've not done if If you've not done, just take a screenshot. You will look at it in your free time. Okay, great. Thank you so much for sharing. This is your financial scorecard. If you're anywhere between 12 and 15, the results suggest that you're financially strong and you have strong financial habits. Keep building and stay consistent, because it's very easy for one to move from 15 to 3. Okay, and I'll tell you why. Then if you have between 8 and 11, you're stable, but you need improvement. You're on the right path, but there's important room to strengthen. 4 to 7, you're financially vulnerable. You have some good habits, but you are at risk. So there's need to take action. 0 to 3, you're at risk. That situation is not good. And if nothing is done, then you're likely to be frustrated most of the time. So you really need to find embrace financial education, become financially literate, because that's the foundation. Now, just like a medical checkup, financial health can also be measured, just like we've done. The more healthy habits, and what we've been going through are healthy habits practiced. Okay, the more healthy habits you practice, the stronger your financial life becomes. And as they say, if symptoms persist, you seek financial advice. If you're doing all these things, your financial situation is not changing, then you really need to seek financial advice. So this is what I have to say about financial health. It's not about how much money you have on your account. No, because you might have money on your account and it was a windfall. You probably sold land you inherited, and all of a sudden there is money on your account. It is not how much you have on your account, in your investments. No. Being financially healthy is determined by how many financial healthy financial habits you practice. So if you save today, and the next time you will save is in November, and then the next time you save is next year so there is that inconsistency, then you're not financially safe, healthy. The building of the emergency fund, the picking up on insurance, the issues of budgeting, knowing your income and expenditure, and tracking your expenses. These are things you don't do today. Then you put them to sleep. Then you go to sleep. Then you wake up after 3 months and say, "Hey, by the way, where did I stop?" No, because as money keeps coming in, you need to have the discipline to track it, but also to practice these financial habits. So poor financial management is like a silent disease. It slowly consumes a person's stability until the damage becomes hard to reverse. But when detected early, it can be corrected and managed. Again, the aim is for us to be financially healthy, and for us to become financially healthy, for us to practice these habits here in the assessment, we need to we need to understand them, and then we need to do them on a regular. So by now you should be having a bit, or you know the financial goals you're working towards. You're operating with the budget. It's guiding your the way you're spending, the way you're distributing your money here and there, investments and all. You're building an emergency fund, or you already have one, and now you're looking towards investing. And when they say you have an emergency fund covering 6 months of your monthly expenses, that is now a standard they have put. You know, people have gone before us, they have researched these things, they understand them. And so some say 3 to 6 months. So meaning, if your monthly expense is 300,000, your emergency fund should be at least, you get 300,000 times 6, that is 1,800,000. That should be money somewhere on an account, not for investing, it's for emergency. So you need to have
Dr. Anita, we are sorry for the technical hitch. I am certain she'll be able to restructure and rejoin immediately. But I like the interactions, the conversations. Please note that you are allowed to ask questions. You can type them on the chat box so that you don't forget, or you write them on your notepad while we wait for the end of the presentation, and then we'll be able to share and give an opportunity for you to ask those questions.
Okay, Faith,
Dr.
can you hear me?
Amazing, yes. Welcome back. Please proceed.
I don't know at what point you lost me, but as talking about the emergency fund and why it's important to build it. And I was saying that the reason they tell us to build emergency fund before we even think of investing is because the moment you get an emergency, without an emergency fund, you will end up either reaching out to people, or you'll end up selling your investments cheaply to get out of the emergency. And so it's just wisdom for us to build emergency fund. Am I still on? Can you hear me?
Yes, you're on and audible.
Okay, good. So that is financial health, not determined by how much you earn, but how many financial health habits you practice. And you can see from your self-assessment. Why this is important, it's life-changing. We will have to learn how to manage money, or the lack of it will manage us. And the key word there is managing money. Okay, it's managing money. And Warren Buffett has a way of saying it that if you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you will work until you die. So meaning, if money only shows up when you show up, and when you don't show up, the money doesn't show up, then that's a very critical situation also to be in as a person. Then there's another society, if you can count your money, you need to work harder. We don't want to go into what that means. Now, let me talk about a bit about the parable of the bags of gold in Matthew 25:14-15. I want us to read this together. Okay, and we are quoting the Bible just like we quote other people like Warren Buffett and all. And this was a parable that was told by Jesus himself. He says, it's a long one. Please find time and go and read it. There's something I want to highlight here. It says, it's like a man going on a journey who called all his servants and entrusted his wealth to them. One, he gave 5 bags of gold, another 2 bags, and to another 1 bag. Now, for me, this statement that follows is very important. It says, each according to his ability. Then he went on his journey. Ladies and gentlemen, the first question I asked you is the things you can do. The things you can do. Because the distributions are made according to your ability. It is your ability that is going to limit the growth of your finances. And if we understand that, for me, I think it's a good place to start in becoming financially intelligent. And we know this was a parable. And I know in church they use it in talking about talents, how we need to use our talents to serve and all that. But whatever you are given, whatever ability, the knowledge, the skills, the experience you have, those are things you have been given to invest, multiply, and earn from them. And you've been given those things according to your capacity, according to your ability. So, and we saw what these people did. The one of 5 multiplied, the one of 2 also multiplied, the one of 1 dug a hole and buried it. And then the one who buried his, as they all gave reports, the one of 5 appreciated. Master said, come and enjoy with me. The one of 2 also was appreciated. The master said, come and enjoy with me. There, he was happy. Now, you listen to the words he used. Go and read that parable. The words he used to describe this one who dug a hole and buried his talents, just like many of us are burying our skills, talents, and finances in things that don't matter, but we also don't have the ability and capacity to multiply what we've been given. Because I made a statement, I said, from the time we were born, we've earned money. Okay. Now, the issue of becoming financially literate, the problem is that it's not that there is no money. The money is there. We get it. Otherwise, you wouldn't be alive today. The money comes, but our ability to multiply that, to multiply the knowledge, the skills that we have, that's where the problem is. Because money comes out of exchanging value. The value you have is in your knowledge, your skills, your experiences. That is what you have to exchange to get money. Now, when I said make a list of the things you can do, I was telling you, make a list of things because that's where your money is, in short. Considering your knowledge, skills, experience, and talents. God called this servant, the one who buried the one. Sorry, not God. When the master came back, he said, "You wicked and lazy servant." Those are the words in NIV. You wicked and lazy servant. And this is what he said. Why didn't you at least put that money on fixed deposit so that I find when it has grown, at least by a small interest? He called it wicked, lazy, and wicked. Says at least the least you can do with at least the money I left with, you should have put it on a fixed deposit account to attract some little interest. He said, remove even that one he has and give it to this one who had more. And then the guy was chased away. People keep asking for more money, they want money. The strategy, according to this parable, is that who is not multiplying what you have, you're not using your knowledge, you're not using your skills, you're not using your talents. The strategy is to take even the little you have away from you so that it's given to someone else. And what is that? The consumption mentality. Every time you get money, you want to consume, finish. We forget about the principle of seed and bread. Seed and bread. Okay, I don't know. He's the one who gives seed to the farmer and bread. I don't know where that. I should have looked for it. Give seed and bread to the farmer. Seed and bread. Seed and bread. 50-50. Seed and bread. Every amount you get, seed and bread. Seed means plant for tomorrow. Bread means eat. It's a financial principle. So every money you get 10,000. There is seed 5,000. There is bread 5,000. Eat the 5,000, sell the 5,000. Okay, so we want to become financially intelligent to apply these principles. When I was starting, I told you issues of money, they are not only physical, but they are also spiritual. So what does it mean to become financially intelligent? Before you become intelligent, we must be literate. We must be financially literate. So financial literacy, and the Bank of Uganda definition, benchmarked from World Bank and all the other banks, is having the knowledge, skills, and confidence to manage one's finances well, and not just managing your finances well. You have to take into account your unique economic and social circumstances. What does that mean? Me, I'm a mother of 4. You're probably a mother of 1, 2, or you don't have. The way I make financial decisions depends on my situation at home and in my life generally. Now, for you, as you don't make a financial decision. Now, you see me buying a car, depending on my economic and social circumstances. Then you also say, even me, I want to drive a car like Madame Anita. You don't have a salary that pays as much as it may what I'm earning. You may not have the other income streams. So to be financially literate, you don't just make money decisions because you have money in your pocket. You must consider your current situation. Okay, that's why it's not. You don't say I'm taking my children to this one school, the school where so and so. You don't know their economic and social circumstances that they best on to make that decision. So for you, how do you make a decision based on someone else's circumstances? So being financially literate means you have the knowledge, you have the skills, and the confidence can say, no, I'm not going to take my children there. You get in associations as, you guys, let's take our children to the same school. But it's just financial situation the same. You see? So knowledge, have an understanding, skills, and confidence. So financial intelligence, therefore, after you've had the knowledge, you must be able to comprehend it, you must be able to understand it, and use that knowledge to make wise financial decisions on how you use the money to achieve your personal, family, and business long-term financial goals. So it's not just about knowing about money, it's knowing what to do with it and then actually doing it. If you know you're supposed to save 50% and invest, save the 50% and spend 50%, okay, you know it well and good, but are you applying it? Okay. Now, these are modules that Bank of Uganda, again, are benchmarking as many banks. They've summarized financial literacy modules into these 8 modules. So today, we can't go through all the 8 modules. This takes almost a week or even 2 months to go through these modules. But I'm going to go touching, a few areas. And then those that you feel have not touched enough, we can have a Q&A at the end. So we want to become financially intelligent. First, we must become financially literate. We must educate ourselves on issues of money. And not just for ourselves, but to also protect other people's money. First, you need to protect your money from going to where it's not supposed to go. And then we also need to protect other people's money. Those loans we go for, that's other people's money. It is very dangerous for you to go for a loan when you're financially illiterate. It's going to get wasted. Okay? And remember, people pray for that money. So you imagine you get that money and you waste it. And God is watching you and you're like, but my son and daughter. Yeah? And then we are defaulted to, pay back. So in our effort of getting financially literate and educating ourselves and in this journey of building wealth, we need to remember, okay, that it is God who gives us the ability to produce wealth. Do you see the connection between this scripture in Deuteronomy and the scripture in Matthew? He gives each according to their ability. Now, the word ability is coming here. Ladies and gentlemen, stop praying for money. Stop praying for financial breakthrough. Pray for increase in ability to manage what God can give you. The reason we get limited financially is because we are not increasing our capacity, our ability. So when you say you're praying for financial breakthrough, what are you praying for? What does financial breakthrough mean? You don't have a budget. You don't have a financial goal. You don't even have an emergency account. You don't differentiate between needs and wants. You don't have the ability. You don't have the understanding. Okay? For those who have, that is good. And let's keep it. Okay? Now, instead of, I'm not saying stop praying for financial, breakthroughs. But also we've seen here, the problem is not that there is no money. The problem is we don't have the ability to multiply what is being given to us. And so me, I would rather you keep, as we pray, as we read and become financially literate, as we read on how to, as we embark on this journey of becoming financially intelligent, we increase our ability. And when God sees your ability increasing, he starts entrusting you with more. Oh, I gave my daughter 20,000. She was able to tithe on it. Then she was able to save. She was able to put some for emergency. Okay. Now I can entrust. That is management. Well, you're either managing or mismanaging. Now, for if it were you, and you give someone money and they mismanage it, would you add them more? Now, as a human being, even that relative who came to ask for help, I was limited to helping that person because I knew the issue. I just gave the person that book. I said, you go and read. Go and increase your ability, your capacity, because the problem was with ability. Okay, so he's the one who gives us the ability to produce wealth, and so confirms the covenant which he swore to your ancestors as it is today. I mean, all the people we talk about, the Father Abrahams, the Joshua, the Joshuas, the Jacobs, all those guys were wealthy, and it is God who kept. But we also saw the work they would put in. So many want to become wealthy, but they don't know how. The only way you will know how is by reading, attending seminars like this, being intentional, reading those books. So they know what they want, but they don't know how to get it. So money matters are at the root of many vices in the world. Now, because people don't know how to get the money right, they end up finding dubious ways of getting it. You're either going to tell a lie, say, you see, I got a problem, just to get money. But we can do more than that. We can do better than that. Yeah, we don't have to lie. We don't have to be corrupt. We don't have to, do dubious things for us to get money. There's always a right way of getting it. And God in his wisdom put that ability in us, but it is up to us now to nurture it. And without going into so much detail, we've read these scriptures, we know them. He blessed them. Now, when the scripture tells you that he created you and then he blessed you, blessing means by the time man came on earth, he found the resources there. He didn't have to work hard to create a water source. He didn't have to work hard to make the ground sprout. He didn't have to work. The blessing is already there. There's no way he would have told us, be fruitful, multiply, replenish the earth, subdue it, and then you don't give them the capacity to do so. I mean, if they're even if you're being hired in an institution and they tell you this is what you're going to do, you're going to travel, you're going to do what, you're going to do this, you're going to be driving this car. At the end of the day, you will ask, so where is the fuel? Where is the money going to come from? And they say, we are going to provide it. So by the time God gives us all these instructions, he has already given us the provision. It's there. But we need to put in the work. So we already have the blessing to become fruitful. Otherwise, you would not have started with, and God blessed them. Now, we know that the money we are looking for comes from fruitfulness, being valuable, doing something from what God has already blessed us with. We have the knowledge, we have the skills, we have the talents, we already blessed, okay? But issues of money also have a mindset issue. And the Bible says, for as a man thinks he is. So before people change how they earn or spend their money, they must first change how they think about money. And we've grown up having certain beliefs about money, but some of those beliefs have to be reframed. And I'll go through some of the beliefs here. Money is only for the educated. You need capital to start. Business is risky. Jobs are safe. Rich people are corrupt. There is a belief, the mindset behind the way you approach money, and we need to detect: is it limiting you from growing your finances? Okay, so your financial changes, your financial future changes the moment your beliefs about money change. So you detect what are some of the common things you believe about money. I'll tell you, even without talking so much about investment, if you have limiting beliefs about money, there is some businesses you will not venture into. Also, I asked you about when money comes in, what do you first do? It talks about your temperament, your natural way of responding and reacting to things. What's your money temperament? You need to know it. If you don't know it, you need to search for it. The people who get money, and the first thing they do is spend. The others who get it, and first thing they do, they first hide it. The others get it and go for gambling to multiply it. They start businesses, invest it. Okay. And what I want to say about temperaments is that each temperament has a strength and has a weakness. And so behind every money or every shilling you spend, your temperament is influencing that decision. And so if you make that decision, for example, I'll tell you, if your temperament is which one? yeah, if your temperament is the spender, you're not going to budget for money. You don't even believe budgeting is necessary. You see it as a lot of work, as a waste of time. You even tell yourself questions. Why do you save when you're hungry? Those are the questions that come. And so behind every financial decision, you need to understand there is a temperament influencing that decision. And if you keep making those financial decisions without understanding what your temperament is, then you're likely you will not know why you keep running into the same circles, finding yourself in the same financial situation, because there are temperament that don't believe in budgeting. But there are also temperaments that believe in over investing, invest here, invest there, and then you find yourself so invested in so many things, and then you find yourself in a situation which they call asset rich and cash poor. You have land here, land there, but you have no cash flow. So each temperament can easily have extremes, and that's what you want to avoid. So these conversations of money start with earning money. And we need to start there. Those skills, that list I told you to write, to make, is one way of earning money. The first thing on the budget after the title is the word income. Income. But many times when you tell people to write their sources of income, it's either a list of one, not a list of one. A list can't have one. It's either one item on top or two. Then when you tell them to write their expenses, the paper may not be enough. It can even go beyond 10. Transport, food, hair, what? 10, a list. But say, write income, there's one item there. And that's already an indicator of a financial crisis. And so we need to increase our earning capacity so that we are able to balance the budget, income and expenditure. And so there are different sources of income. Work, you can get a job, salaries, wages, the skills you have. You can start a business, you can have assets that bring in money, and then investments, those who buy shares, those who invest in treasury bills and treasury bonds, those who have ventured into real estate, those who earn from rental income. And rental income doesn't only mean houses. You can rent your phone and get paid. You can rent space in your apartment and get paid. And so there are different ways you can earn money. There are side hustles and all. So income is the result of the value you create. If there is value, people will pay. The more value you provide, the more you earn. Okay? So your income is directly tied to the value you create. You just take a screenshot for that. I don't want to delve on that so much. Some places where money hides in people, relationships. People always say they are looking for money. So where is it hiding? I'm looking for money. I'm down looking for money. So these are some of the places where money hides. Okay. So your goal, decide your gift. Again, make the list of the things you can do. That is where your money comes from. If you can speak well, turn it into a business. If you can bake cake, turn it into a business. If you or start a school and from it. If you can sing, start a band, they hire your services. Whatever you can do, increase that ability and be able to earn from it. Because when we start considering expenses, they are usually very, very many. So income comes first, and in Ecclesiastes 11:2, very clear. It says, invest in 7 ventures, yes, in 8, for you do not know what disaster may come upon the land. And so here, what the Bible is telling you is have more than one income. In fact, have 7 or even 8. And I think there it's just showing you don't stop there. The thing it has not said here is don't start all of them at once. When people read this scripture, they say, but you see that some people have overinvested and things have not worked out. First, build a system of 1. Once it works, you start another. The thing is, you go growing, invest in 7 or in 8. how many income streams do you have? Just go to the chat and type, let's see. How many income streams, how many things have you invested in? How many ventures? Let's go. We want to see if we have the minimum. Faith, are they there?
Yes, people are still here. No. We are here actually. The conversation is very
okay. So here we've been told, to invest in 7. How many are you investing in? Winnie, well done. 5. So you're either investing in shares, you have a business, you're earning some money through salary, you have a side hustle, you know, and all, you earn through boda, Uber. There's something bringing in money. You have animals, you sell, you have some farmland, you're farming. Okay, so those who have mentioned, well done. So 4 and so let's aim for the minimum at least. Here the Bible has said 7. There's a reason as to why they quoted that number. Okay, let's move on. So, okay, now that we've dealt with the issue of earning, and at least we need to have money coming in before it goes out, isn't it? As it goes out, the thing that is guiding that money going out are the goals you've set, isn't it? You've set some goals, but that you want to achieve, but also you're mindful. Is this a need? Is this a want? Do I really need this? Or it's just for leisure? And we are not saying don't have fun, but you plan for it. And what we are saying here is that the needs take priority. They take priority. The wants can come last, and we shall see in the financial funnel. So needs first, take care of those, and then the wants. Set financial goals. What are your financial goals as you now start thinking of this money that has come in? Because we've said we're already blessed. Now the money is coming in, but now they're going out. Financial goals. It could be a short one, a medium one, or a long term. So what are your financial goals? By show of hands, let's see some people who have financial goals here. You're there and you have well-written financial goals and you're working towards them. A goal is written down and it's smart, not a wish. I've not said a financial wish, I have said a financial goal. It's like I'm illustrating there. It has timelines, it has a figure to it, and you're working towards it. Anyone with a financial goal? They have gone. Faith. But Faith, now I think the approach should be that for you, I'm going to allow you to say yes to every question. so that at least we know there is.
No, so for you, so I'll encourage them to keep typing because
we have a Nyamu. Thomas said, thank you. There is a financial goal. Asanasio also. Okay, Asanasio also has a financial goal. Well done. Now, we need to work towards these. And so this issue of getting money and spending it without putting in consideration some of the goals you've set. You want to buy a plot of land, you want to build, you want to start a course, but there is no goal set. You want to start a business. How much is it? And how much are you saving towards it? Okay. So if you want to set smart financial goals, you ask yourself, what do you want to do? I want to build an emergency fund. And for many of us, I know this is a goal we are taking. Please build the emergency fund. At least 3 months, okay, of your expenses. And if you try, after you've built 3 months, you extend and build another month. What do you want? How much money is it? And when do you want to achieve that goal? That is how you set financial goals. Now, when we are spending money, we need to have the financial funnel in mind. I'm using illustrations because they will be easier for some of us to remember. A normal financial funnel looks, the big part looks up and then the down. That's how a funnel looks like in its right positioning. So meaning what you earn, the money that comes in, is more than what goes out. Now, unfortunately, many times we find ourselves when the financial funnel is upside down. What is coming in is little, what is going out is much. And some of us don't even know it. We don't know what is our monthly income or weekly income. We don't know our weekly expenditure because we are not tracking. But just to warn, if you're in a situation like that, when you don't have a figure, when they ask you, what's your monthly income? You don't have a figure, you start struggling. That is dangerous. And then they ask you, Choka, you work every day. What is your monthly expense? You also don't have a figure. Yet you spend every day. You can never get out of your financial situation. You will always get stuck. You don't even qualify to get a loan. If you don't know your income and don't even think of getting a loan. I'll leave it at that. Again, a budget is one of those tools that helps us in making this financial decision. It's a plan that lays out what you will do with your money. Okay, a budget is a major tool to manage income and expenditure. Now, there are budgeting models. I don't know which model you follow. I don't know whether you use the Jewish 5-year model money system or the 6-year, or you use the 50, 30, 20, model. I don't know which model you use, but you should be guided by a certain model. There is no perfect model. The perfect model is that, the perfect budgeting model is one that where when you earn, you save some of it, you tithe some of it, and then you're able to spend some of it. Hey, you don't make money and suffer. Say, for me, I want to save. And you must be following a certain model, because if you don't have a model you're following, you will still get stuck. And I'll tell you why. You've seen people, they are not here, who get money. For example, someone gives you 5 million. And then you say, I've already wanted to buy a plot of land. Then you get the entire 5 million and go and deposit it, or you buy a plot of land. You have killed all the financial rules in one transaction. You've not tithed, you've not saved, you've not put some emergency fund, you've not invested, you have a debt, you've not even contributed anything to reducing your loan. That is bad financial management. And I used to encourage my husband when we had just started, because that's how we would approach things. You don't get money and then just money, you get it and say, me, I've always wanted school fees. Then you put everything in school fees. And the reason we do that, that's some kind of cycle and stuck in. The more you keep breaking the rules, you keep going back in the same situation. So no, if that was the case, then money lenders would be saying, bring all the money at once. Because this is money, even if you have you should be having a plan of repaying. So you take little. If you want to buy land, you first put a saving amount. It's because of the desire to accumulate things very fast, very many things at the same time. I've always wanted to buy land. You've got money. It's not even enough. On top of that, of destroying all the financial principles in one transaction, you've even gone to borrow more just to put that you can acquire the asset by force without following any financial principle. Okay, and then you've gotten the land. You have it. You have a debt here. You've killed financial principles. You've frustrated other things at home. School fees not paid. The children are stuck. There are some things they want, but you spent all the money just to get the land. Yet there is a model you should have seen. Say, the 50%, let it be here to take care of the needs. Then I'm going to concentrate on the 50%. It's what I'm going to use for investment, for these other things. Follow a model. That's my advice. If you don't, it's okay. It's up to you. Then also, the financial funnel helps us understand how to spend our money in some kind of flow. When you get money, when you earn, if it's consistent, always take care of the big things first. If you have, of course, taxes, that one they deduct very fast. Money comes in, taxes go up fast. Then do the tithe. If you're Christian, some of those things don't appear here because not everybody believes in tithing. But for me, money comes in after the taxes have been removed, tithe goes first. And And the tithe is on the gross. I don't want to get into that argument, but it depends. So if you've agreed with God that you do on the net, that's up to you. It's on the gross. Say, but what comes to my account is this. Some of it has gone to NSSF. You've paid your NSSF is on the gross. The taxes they charge you are on the gross. Why do you want to give God on the net? It's on the gross. That conversation, I'm not going to go into it. Okay, and I'm not going to scripture of quoting tithe. Then take care of your debt obligation, do the needs first, pay the rent, do your, food, transportation, do some bulk buying of things. Then, of course, retirement comes into play, education, emergency. Then those things you want, that country you've always wanted, that car outing you've always wanted to go for, those things come last. If your budget still allows. Remember, here you've taken off the 50% for saving and the 50% for investing. That's just a sample of a budget. You should be having something like that guides the way you manage money. Every shilling must have a purpose. Every shilling must have a purpose. The moment you don't allocate a purpose to a shilling, it will go. You will get that phone call and that money will go. So name it. If you're saving for land, name that money land saving. If you're saving for a car, give it a name, Subaru TX saving. If you're saving for marriage, give it marriage contribution. Give it a name. If you just call it saving, it will go. It will go. Okay. So this just take a screenshot for this. Our time is far spent. I want to summarize. How to remain committed within your budget. Remind yourself often what you've planned to spend. Put in the budget something for unexpected needs. Just take a screenshot. This is just advice, huh? Yeah. Also take a screenshot for that. Consume less of non-essential items. All this is just to help us manage what we have. And you see, if you manage expenditure, your savings increase. Spend less on parties, festivals, lower expenses on life. Yeah, you take care of your money today. It will take care of you tomorrow. Remember, retirement is coming. And some of us have also not started building the retirement fund. When we're in a retirement session and I help and calculate the retirement fund, it can shock you. And the question is, where is that money going to come from? So the Money Right Academy is this month. Please take a screenshot. Those interested, we'll reach out. I want to talk about retirement, but there is no time. And so the whole point here is retirement is not merely about living active employment. It's about creating the life you want to live, the new season of your life. The current retirement age is what, 60? So the quality of that season will depend on the decisions and preparations you make today. They say the only person who can take care of your older self is your younger self. So the assumption is that when you're young, you're working, you're saving, you're managing your money well, so that and you're saving for to invest, because we save for two reasons. Save for emergencies, that's why we build the emergency fund, but we also save for investment. Okay, and these investments are the ones supposed to take care of us in retirement. Now, if we don't have an investment plan, and in this session, we cannot go into details of investing, where to invest your money, because time is not enough. But those investments are the ones that take care of you in retirement. So again, in planning for retirement, increase your earning capacity. Develop your skills, use your knowledge, your experiences, reduce your expenditure. Reduce your expenditure, especially if you don't yet have a lot of responsibilities. If you're still single, you don't need to stay in a very expensive house paying 1.5 million. I don't know why. Okay, 1.5 million. Okay, if you have a job that pays you that much, still okay, but there is no reason why. Really, is it necessary? Okay, increase savings, and you can only increase savings when you reduce expenses. These are some of the things you can invest in to build multiple income streams. You can take a screenshot. So I'll just briefly about debt. If you have a loan, if it's a good loan, then you got that money to invest it in a business that is able to bring back profit. If you got it to consume, to buy a car, to get married, that's a bad loan. And so it's possible that it's already affecting you, okay? Increase your saving rate, build emergency fund. See, the principles keep coming back. So in conclusion, you don't change your financial future by waiting for opportunities. You change it by becoming valuable, thinking differently, and acting intentionally. And with financial, if you don't train yourself to become financially literate, it will bite you in old age. Me, I can leave it at that. And we can see from our old people around us, if you have some conversations with them. So for me, I've taken it upon myself to be intentional about teaching myself about money, but also my family and my children, teaching them about money. So I wish you all the best and thank you for listening. Thank you. Over to you, Njuki. Feel free, let's connect. You can connect on LinkedIn, Facebook, X, Instagram. I'm mostly active on LinkedIn. Huh? Yeah, over to you, Faith.
Amazing. Can we give a round of applause to Dr. Anita, really? That was a very rich session. Let me tell you the interesting fact about it. In as much as we have not engaged in a Q&A session, you have answered all the questions that I had set aside. And I am certain that everyone has gained something in addition to what they already know. From those who are 11% financially literate to the one who was at 3, 1, and to those who even never responded. This has been a very rich and healthy session. I don't even think that people right now have started thinking about retirement. I was shaking my head and I was like, what do you mean? Are we growing up that fast? Like, you want to tell me I need to save for retirement now? It's a very interesting concept to think about. Thank you very much, Dr. Anita, for availing your time.
Just something brief about retirement. Some of us
Yes,
have
please.
moved a few years. We are not very old, but regret and say, even if we knew about this, we would have started early. Again, the investments you make in your youthful age are the ones that are going to take care of you in retirement. Now, when we are doing that retirement calculation, which we do in the Money Bright Academy, that one we are not going to do here, the figure you get sobers you up. Because even if you say you want to retire at 50, the figure you get will be so big that you will extend those years and say, now let me push and retire at 60. So meaning that if someone is much younger, they have the advantage of saving less towards retirement than those that have already gone much further, because that figure can be overwhelming and you'll find yourself engaged in employment for a much longer time because retirement is not ready for you and you're not also ready for it. And so to avoid being in such a situation, we need to start early. I'll leave it at that.
Amazing. You have actually answered my question. I used to wonder, why do people work until they are 65? I was being given a very interesting narrative that in Kenya, people retire at 60, but this person got to 60 and then they realized that they were not prepared for retirement. So what did they do? They actually got involved in an accident so that they can have a condition that would classify them as a person with disability, which extended their retirement age to 65. And I thought that was very intense as a drastic measure. But now, in consideration, in light of what you have taught us and taken us through, it's pretty much interesting to just discover that that can really happen. Thank you very much. I can see Moses saying that's a truly expensive session. We truly appreciate your time. and the availability. Please make sure that, yes, Robert, they got themselves involved in an accident so that they can increase their retirement age. It's not as interesting as you think. You wouldn't even want to see the scene. Please make sure that you enroll for yourself in the class, participate, and gain more knowledge, because we say that the illiterate of this new century is to those who are not able to learn and relearn. And we also have Dr. Malinga's book. We will communicate on how it is available. It's only going for 25,000 Ugandan shillings. That's an equivalent of around 900 Kenyan shillings. So kindly, if you're interested in the book, you can reach out to us via WhatsApp. A gentleman named Patrick will respond and will be able to connect you with Dr. Anita. But before we go further, I would like to recognize one of our special partners, Welile Technologies. They have been an instrumental organization in making sure that you enjoy these conversations for free. They usually support tenants by providing affordable renting solutions. So you see the way you have been told that you need to budget, and you budget for your needs, and you budget in advance. You don't budget when the money is there. So Welile can help you with working around your rental solutions. They help you either whether you want payment on credit or on a weekly basis. They can also help you to save with them, and you get a 10% return on your investment on a monthly basis. So again, a way for you to diversify your income is here with Welile Technologies. So make sure to check them out on their website. Make sure to follow them up, get connected, and you'll be able to find out more. So as we are giving one of the representatives an opportunity just to say hi and tell us more, everyone who has been having a question, I saw Winnie asking a question, which I believe has been partially answered, but we will still revisit it again. As Mr. Gideon is giving us a brief about Welile Technologies, I would like you to now post those questions and prepare yourself to unmute. Dr. Anita is here until around 9:45 p.m., so we'll be able to ask her questions and get feedback, and also find out from her how we're going to get her book. Mr. Gideon, if you can hear me, kindly respond. I'd like to give you a minute or two to talk about Welile Technologies. All right. I'm not sure if he's here at the moment, but we'll revisit that in a minute. So, Dr. Malinga, back to you. Winnie had posted a question while we were going on with the conversation, and she asked, what percentage of income should go into savings and expenses? I believe you have talked about budgeting, but you can shed more light on that. However, I also have a question that I think most people don't voice out loud. The issue about emergency fund, that you need to build your emergency fund. It should be able to sustain you 3 to 6 months, in case you lose your job or whatever happens, you should have an emergency fund. How do people build an emergency fund? Is it that you also budget for it, or at one particular point in time, you just close your eyes and say, Father, let your will be done. You're going to take care of my expenses this month. I am going to build my emergency fund. How do people go about it? Thank you.
Okay, so thank you so much, Faith. I said there is no perfect budgeting model. Here it's about intentionality, but going from the principle of bread and seed. Let's start there. That for every money you get, 50% is for seed. That one is investing. Or seed. That money is supposed to go and be multiplied and grow so that for tomorrow. So it's a principle of 7 years of plenty and 7 years of or famine, that famine comes in retirement. So during plenty, what do? You store, you store, you store, you store. So that when the time for famine comes, there is enough you can live by. But that's a retirement principle. But here, the principle of bread and seed is very important to start from. Now, I don't know what principles you follow, but for me, what I'm saying that for every money you get, just know you're not supposed to eat all of it. That consumption mentality of you get 10,000, all of it eaten, transport, MBs, food, and then you're left with nothing. And I'll tell you, it's an African thing for people to be okay when they don't have money. They actually don't see any problem in it. But those that have become financially literate, when they don't have money, they feel disturbed. So how do you build an emergency fund? You build it from savings. So let's take an example of 100,000. Now, if we say the 50% you're going to spend it, and the 50 is for saving, actually saving. Let's look at the one you're saving. By the way, this principle, remember the economic social situation, it also applies. Now, for you, if you're a starter, let me say if you're much younger, you can spend 50%. But if you're just going to start applying these principles and you're in your 40s, you're in your 50s, don't spend 50%. And that's why I'm telling you, financial decisions are made based on your situation. So meaning, for you who is much older, you need to save a little bit more because you need to invest in more things. And your emergency fund is much bigger that you need to survive by. But let's just take it at that level, that you have 100,000. Now, if you get 100,000, if we apply the principle of bread and seed, 50,000, you can spend it, you take it to rent, you take it to buying things from the supermarket, your needs, okay? And then the other 50,000 is what you distribute, the saving. Now, the 30, the 20, 30, what other people do, they put 30% of that 50, that half that has remained. The other one is going for spending. Now, this one that has remained, the 50K, some of it will go to the emergency fund. Another one will go to investing. You're saving. You've not yet. You're saving. So when you save, you say this one go, and by the way, these are different accounts. Don't combine your emergency saving with your investment saving. Get a different account. Put the emergency fund on a unit trust because that can be liquidated within less than 48 hours. Remember, you need to access that money immediately. That's why it's called an emergency fund. Don't get money for emergency fund and put it in an investment that will take you years to recover from. An investment you've made like for 15 years and say it's my emergency fund. No, that is an investment. You've invested probably in business, or you're going to buy cows, or you're going to buy stocks, you're going to buy treasury bills and bonds. That money you're saving it to invest it in future. Then you have another portion you're saving for emergency. Now, that one, some use 30%, 20%. Again, it depends on your economic, social situation. But the most important thing is some money should go there to those accounts. Now, if you know your emergency fund is supposed to be 6 months your expenditure, then do the math. We took an example and said if your monthly expenditure is 300 and your emergency fund is 6 months, 6 times 3 is 1.8. So out of each money you get, at least 20% should go towards an emergency fund. You build it slowly by slowly. By the way, one thing I've come to appreciate about money, it needs time. So the earlier you start, the better. Because once you start applying these principles late, the pressure, high blood pressure, diabetes, all those diseases come attacking you, stress and all that. Why? Because then now, as a young person, you misused your money. Now the family has come. Okay. Now the children are demanding school fees. Now you don't have enough money. Children don't have food to. Those things start working you up. You'll be like, now, what kind of man am I? I can't even pay rent for my family. But meanwhile, we are not applying this financial principles. So anyway, you can choose whatever model works. Just sit down with your money and say, this is how much I earn. So I'm going to put 10% here. I'm going to put 20% here, depending on your situation. The most important thing, now like tithe, that's a given. It's 10%. It's non-negotiable. The rest you decide. How much are you going to be saving towards your financial goals? If you set a financial goal of raising 300,000, 330 what? Whatever, 500,000 towards your, a certain financial goal, you save slowly towards it. You want to get into a situation where you don't rush to acquire things with money you don't have. Puts you under unnecessary pressure. So, Faith, I don't know if you've understood that emergency fund is built
Yes.
slowly and intentionally. Yes. Then for distributions, it is your money. You need to know your your current financial situation. You need to know your situation at home, at work. You're the one who knows what you're pursuing, and so you make the decisions. If you want to buy land, how much do you need? How much do you need to start saving now without frustrating other things? You see, these distributions help us not to frustrate things. We need to live a balanced life. And it also protects you from saying you get money, salary, and take all of it to buy land, or you take all of it to buy a cow or to start an animal farm. Is that jar for investing? Is that money there? If it's not there, then you're going to get the one from emergency fund. You're going to get the tithe and use it and tell God you'll understand. Then you're going to get money for home expenditure and also put it in your investments. I also want to mention this. If there are any married people on call, please make financial decisions as a couple. If you don't, the family will suffer. And it can either suffer silently or loudly. But make financial decisions as a family. Don't say my husband doesn't understand these things. My wife is too slow, doesn't understand. If you're the one who understands issues of money, can you educate your wife? If you're the one, the wife understands the issues of money, try to educate your husband. Because it's either the man who understands or the woman, but most likely, it's very rare when you both understand. Even if you're dating, just say, we can't eat from that expensive restaurant. You educate people. Many times when it's a relationship, it's a couple. It's either the man who is highly financially literate or the woman. It's very rare to find both of two people financially literate at the same time. So it's a battle. And so, and this is a battle of protecting and stewarding what God has given us. We leave it to chance, bas, retirement will come. And as your friends are flying out to the Bahamas, over to you, Faith.
That's a very interesting perspective. Thank you very much, Dr. Anita.
Yeah.
I appreciate that insight. I see our time is fast spent, and Thomas has a very intricate question, but I would like you to project your cohort 3 program. I think this question can be best answered in that particular setup because he's asking what are the available investment plans. I've heard you talking about unit trust and the available cautions for those who wish to invest, particularly those interested in bonds, treasuries, and shares. I believe this is not a question that we can exhaust right now. So I
Please
would
come to the
kindly ask,
academy. Yeah.
yes, for
Come.
anyone who's having questions on financial literacy in line of investment, we have the Money Bright Academy that is aiming to empower youth on financial literacy. It's going to take place for 5 days from 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. and you are free to join. I believe there's a link for registration which you can also share with us so that we can ask them to register. and we'll be able to share it on the chat box, as well as ways of accessing your books. So I believe Robert and Bernardine have heard that you do not eat everything. I have seen Bernardine say, of course there is retirement, but first we eat breakfast. Keep eating breakfast. You will find us flying to Bahamas, and we thank God for you. Anyway, Robert has also said that it's important for you to build a backup of at least 1 year. The job and employment environment is a bit interesting, but 6 months is a good start. So please consider the environment. It has been emphasized that this is not a one size fits all model. You need to consider where you are, what your situations are, your socioeconomical circumstances, and please also have in mind your financial goals and how you're going to go about them
Very
so
true.
that you can be able to achieve the maximum benefit. Now, there's one question that I would like us to touch on briefly. Actually, allow me make them two, because there's a concern that has been repeatedly raised here that how do we budget for those small monies that you get and you had not planned for them? Probably your mother sends you some 100K and you're like, okay, let me see how I'm going to go about these ones. So how do you budget for those small monies that you get? But also, we talked about temperaments. What are some of the recommendations that you can give for one to have a balanced temperament when it comes to money matters? If you're a spender, how do you increase your appetite for risk? If you're an avoidant, how do you make sure? You mentioned something that was very interesting, that some people are actually asset rich yet cash poor. So you find someone living a very interesting life, but they have lands and properties. And most of the time, I also discover that these people invest in long term assets. So it's not something that gives consistent returns, like dividends or bonuses, something that at least they can spend on. So, how do you manage your appetite for risk? And how do you handle these small monies that come in between? In a very few in very few minutes, because I can see we're out of time. Thank you.
How do we budget for money we get? Let me talk about the 24-hour rule of money. That when you receive money, breathe first. You leave that money on the account, whether it has come on mobile money or it has come on your bank account. You leave it to settle there. If you can go 48 hours while seeing that money, you're not touching it, it's okay. First breathe. There's this financial temperature. Financial temperature is also a problem. So one of managing your financial temperature is by first leaving money to settle on the account. If you can go to 72 hours, it's okay. The longer you take, you're able to make a balanced decision on how to spend that money. Okay. But also, it's okay for it to be part of your income. I mean, the money is a passive. It can be part of the pool. And in your records, it will show that that month, your income was more because of this and that. Please don't only record expenditure, also record income and see where did this money come from. If you don't record your incomes, the money that has come in, you'll find when your expenditures are always outweighing the income. So how do you budget for the money we get? You don't budget for the money you get. You budget a budget. For those that work in institutions, you budget for that financial year, isn't it? Let's say that's a budget. You sit down and this and determine your sources of income, and then you budget. You where is money going to go this month? Depending on your need, if you have school fees, if you have rent to be paid, that is how a budget is drawn. When you get money, your salary, and then you say, now let me sit down and make a budget. That's not a budget. What can I call that? That's a spending plan. You're writing what you're going to spend on. A budget is carefully thought about. You make the decisions that are made, and there are things that you consider. Then you say, this will be my budget for this month. Now, as money comes in from the different sources of income you've indicated, the expenses you've put for that month is what you're supposed to spend on. You spend based on the existing budget. You're not spending based on the budget you've created when you've gotten the money. And so by the time money comes in that month, it finds a budget I have sat and drawn at the beginning of the month. Actually, for us as a family, we draw it a few days to the close of the month. So if the budget for July, we drew it in June and said, this is how we are going to go through July. Yes. Now, the money that is coming in July is spent according to the budget of July. So if food, groceries, and what have you, weekly budget sets a certain amount, that is the amount we are going to withdraw from the account and say we are going to spend this on food. If it's bulk purchasing, we go and based on the budget. So the budget is the one telling you how much to spend. Your money is not what is not the one determining how much money you should indicate on the budget. I don't know if that makes sense, Faith. That's how budgeting is done.
Yes, it does make sense. Yes,
yeah.
truly.
So when you ask, how do we budget for the money we get small? Now that's a wrong question. That you're asking for a spending plan. How should I spend this money that comes? Ideally, if there's already a budget, the money you're receiving should go towards meeting this budget. Okay. Then temperaments, yeah, balanced temperament. Every temperament has a strength and a weakness. The only way you can have a balanced temperament is when you're financially literate. For example, if you get to know you're a spender, then you're going to know some of the strengths and weaknesses of a spender. Then you try to manage your weaknesses, because many times we operate from a point of weakness. It's easy to behave in weakness. You get money, you spend it, you blow it when you don't know. Or it can be your weakness also to hold money. You know, there are temperaments that hold money. They don't like spending. Even when it's necessary, they hide even the money. They don't want the spouses to know, the girlfriends. They hide. They get money, literally hide it. They have secret accounts. Yeah? Even when you're married, you have a secret account. That's a temperament, but that's a weakness. And for it, they do it. They say, I'm building my thing. Okay. Now you're holding money. You're not participating on functions. You're not, because you don't budget for those things. Where you've only concentrated on building projects and things. So the only way you can balance your temperament is by becoming financially literate, so that you don't operate from a point of weakness. And also managing risk appetite. The issue of investment, again, I keep reminding you, these are financial decisions and they should be based on your economic situation. So that session of investments and where you should invest what, we shall handle it in the Money Bright Academy. There are so many options, and it's also, it's important for you to be, and that's where financial intelligence comes in. You make wise financial decisions. Accumulating assets can end up becoming foolishness. Okay? Because then you get stuck, you've accumulated assets, you're highly indebted, yet you earn a salary of 15 million. I'm saying this because I have a colleague who is in such a situation. Highly indebted, has asset this, asset that, asset the other, but even going to the hospital becomes a problem. So don't all those things come with some of intelligence as you try to build wealth. Okay, don't be in a rush to accumulate assets. Take your time, grow slowly, steward what you have. If you don't have, first ask yourself, okay, if I'm going to invest in business, how have you made that financial decision of getting a loan? Is it based on the books of the business, or your assumption that the business needs to grow? The business you're getting a loan for should be able to pay that debt. If you get a loan for a business and then you're the one paying back the loan, then that is not wise. So that means you need to consider the books of the business before you got the loan. So now you're stranded. The business can't pay back the loan because for you got the loan based on assumption. But if you got it based on the books, it should clearly show you that the business should speak for itself. I'm able to pay this loan. Actually, some banks will call you when they see your business account performing well because they have assessed its ability and it can pay back. But if that's not how financial decisions are made, then it becomes risky in the end. Yeah, so again, now that takes us into a conversation of business, which we are not going to have now.
Amazing. Thank you. Thank you so much for your time, your knowledge, your expertise in the area. Really, this has been a very rich and expensive session. I believe that everyone who has truly taken time to be part of this conversation has an understanding better of where they stand financially. And like you have said, you can only make better decisions if you are financially literate. Now, there's something about the verse that we read about the talents, the 5, the 2, and the 1. The aspect of ability. I have seen ability in a different perspective just from that particular session. And we are going to restructure a few things after this. And we look forward to seeing you on the other side. Please, 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 for those who have been here, remember, money needs time to grow. So take your money slowly. I think what has been happening recently is just to encourage the youth because something has been going around that big money does not come clean, and that is a lie. If you do not get it clean, of course, the same way it came, it will walk out of you, and you're going to have a lot of other things that will make you not enjoy the wealth or the money that you are able to create within that particular time. And also, just to encourage people that you don't have to be in a rush. The ideal age of becoming a CEO is not necessarily 23, because there's that thing of, I want to do it now and I want to do it fast. And I also liked how Dr. Anita introduced herself. She said that she works an 8 to 5 job with Enterprise Uganda, but she's also here running a Shine Leadership International program. So again, that's a way of diversifying income. So don't just think because you have a formal job, you cannot do other things. So kindly, we exhort you to join the cohort 3 program again. There'll be a lot more shared within those 5 days, and it will also help you build a stamina of waking up at 5 a.m. because the sessions are running from 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. I know people don't notice it really, but when the sessions begin, you'll notice the intensity that is actually required to wake up every day at 5 a.m. So thank you very much. This conversation has been live on YouTube as well. You are allowed to go back and re-listen. Maybe you missed something. Maybe you want to just repeat a few of those things. If you've not been able to get the screenshots as well, this conversation has been live on YouTube, so you'll be able to interact with that content there again. I can see Robert saying something like, when you become a saver and an investor transiting into becoming a spender after acquiring some substantial assets, it becomes very difficult. Thriftiness becomes your companion. Don't worry, now you have enough information and knowledge to help you find the balance, yeah? And when you become successful in life, have a sellable story, embrace legitimate means of making money and wealth. Amazing. This has been a very interactive session. I appreciate everyone who took their time to be around. Thank you very much once again. If you feel like you have unanswered questions, you can also connect with Dr. Anita via LinkedIn and all the social media platforms. If you have not yet joined our WhatsApp group, the links have been shared. You'll be updated on what transpires next. Join also the Next Step Mentorship Program, and let's meet on the 2nd of August at Nob View Hotel for the open floor conversations with Dr. Natalie Bitature and Mr. Brian Kayongo. Thank you very much for taking your time here. And that's it for the first session of Career Talks July edition. See you on episode 24. Have a lovely evening.